Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Final Tackle podcast. And we are joined by, honestly, a legend of the game of rugby league. He plays for a town and a team that is called the birthplace of rugby league, Huddersfield Giants. His name is Michael Lawrence. Thank you very much for joining us here.
No worries at all. No, happy to be here. Cheers.
Honestly, agreed. It's great to have someone, especially from the birthplace of rugby league. And speaking of birthplace, you were actually born in Huddersfield. What was it like, growing up and watching all that?
Yeah, obviously being a local boy, I played my amateur rugby league in the town for a club called News and Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
I was a fan. I was a season ticket holder for the Giants. So, I was a season ticket holder from 11 years old, and I used to go down pretty much every week. I seen them in Super League, and then I saw them the year they got relegated in the year 2000, and then
Yep.
seen them get back, regain promotion. And when I finished up watching some of the players a couple of years later, I was lining up alongside, so that was pretty surreal.
That would have been pretty special. And going through the academy days, as you said, what was it like going through the Huddersfield Academy?
Really good. I signed to the scholarship at 14 years old, and then at 16 I signed my first academy contract, and it was great. Really, I really enjoyed them years. I was playing some really good rugby league at the time. I was lucky enough to represent Yorkshire and England academy against the Australian schoolboys, and
Oh, wow.
as academy team was going really well, to be honest. And after I did one season with the academy, and then at the start of my second year, managed to break into the first team and make my first team debut in 2007.
Oh, wow, wicked. And that actually has a bit of history behind it because you were actually the first person born in the 90s to play first grade rugby league in the Super League. What was that like?
Yeah, someone told me that probably the season after, that little piece of history there. So it's something that's nice to hang on to, and it's good if there's ever any pub quizzes pop up or anything. It's a nice little fact to have.
Yeah, that's honestly definitely a pub quiz question for sure. Obviously, you've played quite a while with Huddersfield from 2007 to even this upcoming season. What's it like now compared to pre-season in your younger days, and what do you do differently these days?
My first few pre-seasons were grueling. They were old school, as we say, pretty much. Nathan Brown had just took over. Well, I did one under John Sharp, and then Nathan Brown took over in 2009,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my first real taste of pre-season. It was really, really tough. Lots of running, lots of weights, long days. Now they're very similar. They're just as tough, but there's a lot more science coming over my career. The level of sports science has gone up.
You've seen it
the
level
game,
up throughout your career, sort of thing.
100%. I've seen the game change as well. The way that the rules have changed the game and adapted the game, and it's so much faster and more
It
intense
is,
now.
yeah.
And that's the way we train. We train at a very high intensity, but not for very long. But yeah, we're always trying to train at or above game speed, and I think that's helped us. And that's the way training's changed. Really, I'd say intensity is the main thing that's changed over the years.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, speaking of this upcoming year, the season was very disrupted last year due to COVID, as was every sport. How did you personally handle disruptions of last season and also coming into this season?
Yeah, so obviously last year it was a strange one. We'd had a really good pre-season, and we started the year house on fire.
Yeah,
Obviously,
you did.
4 out of those first five, and we was really getting into our stride.
It's like,
And then
ooh, they're coming
yeah,
up.
yeah, that's it pretty much. So everyone was really excited, and there was a real good buzz around the place. And then obviously COVID hit all over the world, and it's been terrible what's happened. And we just had to adapt. Obviously, we was off for 3 months on furlough, and obviously under the rules of the law, you wasn't allowed to train together or anything like that. So everybody was ticking over on their own, trying to keep fit. And then we ended up having like a 3-week mini pre-season before the season started.
Yep.
And then obviously first game back against Leeds, and we started
Yep.
the first 60 minutes like we started the season.
Oh,
And then I don't know what went wrong in the last 20 minutes, but we kind of fell apart really.
Kind of
And
maybe put the brakes on a bit, maybe.
pretty much, yeah. Maybe we got a bit took it.
It
Thought the
was
game
it
was
was it
done.
was a good game. It was a good
Yeah,
game.
maybe we thought it was done, but yeah, it came back and Gaelic kicked a beauty of a drop goal really, and then the same thing happened to us the week after, and and then we ended up losing Simon Wolford as well.
That's
So
not
yeah,
a that's never a that's never a welcome thing, losing a coach mid-season sort of thing. And
So
sorry to tangent into that. How did the team handle that?
yeah, it was kind of I wouldn't say it was disruptive, but it was unexpected. To say, I thought it was probably a little bit harsh at the time that we'd had a couple of 1 point losses, and
Yeah, I
we'd had,
reckon. I reckon personally, from an outsider looking in, maybe the system should have been like, look, give him till the end of the season at least.
yeah. To be fair, but he was off contract, and I know
Okay.
he was getting frustrated with his contract because they'd not renewed it yet,
Oh,
and I
okay.
think.
So that would have also weighed into his actual. Yeah, no, I get you.
So he made the decision. I think he took it out of their hands because there was delaying on sorting the
Well,
contract.
when he takes it out of their hands, it must have really been getting to him that there was a no answer sort of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. So when he decided to do that, I think he said to them, "I'll be leaving at the end of the season, no matter what." And
Yep.
then a few days later, the
They were like,
chairman
right, you
decided,
can go now.
pretty much, and that is exactly what happened. So then Robbo took over. Then, like always, when a new coach takes over, you get that burst of energy,
Yep.
and that new lease of life, and it's a fresh face. You've got to impress, and we went on a little run of three wins.
Yep.
To be fair, against teams in and around us. But they were the only wins we picked up post lockdown, really. So it was, and then we kind of fizzled out in the last few games. Really, we had a lot of injuries, and yeah, it was very stuttery once we came back. So yeah, it was a little bit disappointing the way we finished the year to the way we started it.
Yeah.
But when you look back at the season, we had 3 1-point losses and a loss by 2 points. So
And you had a lot of disruptions, as we just mentioned. So
100%. So you change that. We come out on the other side of them close wins. That's 8 points. That put us second in the table. And
exactly.
you'd be looking at the season as a massive success.
Oh, 100%.
So it shows we wasn't far away at all. So
to be honest, I think any team that didn't get relegated last season, it was a success for any team that didn't.
100%. So yeah, we had a good break and a really good preseason. Obviously, the signing of Watto was massive, and the additions he's brought into the squad, and our old conditioner, Greg Brown, coming back. Obviously, he was massive as well. I know the fans have been crying for him for years because the last actual time we made the playoffs was when Greg Brown
was the S&C, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much back in 2015. So, yeah, he's massive. He's a massive part in what we do, and the way we'll play. But yeah, pre-season's gone really, really well. And obviously we had a good hit out at the weekend against Leeds.
That was a good game.
Yeah, to be fair, everyone put their best foot forward, and now looking forward to starting the season in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of the season, we've got newcomers, you could say. They've been out of the league for a bit. Lee Centurions. What are your thoughts, and are you looking forward to taking on that team this season?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I didn't know what to make of them really because they've recruited a few players from obviously Hull KR and teams that have struggled last year. But I know they were flying high in the Championship and they were challenging for a Super League spot. But
yeah,
I've took notice of the game they played the other night against St Helens. They pipped them by 1 point. And I know
St Helens of all teams. Yeah,
that's no mean feat. So no, I think that they're definitely up there, just not trying to stay up. They want to compete. So no, one thing that last year's taught me is that there's no easy games in Super League no more, and you have to be on your game every week, otherwise you'll get turned over pretty much. We found out that the hard way last season in the Challenge Cup after beating St Helens at St Helens for the first time for 2 years. I think we were the first they were beat at home. The week after we got nilled against Toronto at home, so it just shows.
Yep.
It just shows that if you're not on your game, you'll get turned over by anybody. So no, we can't take no one for granted, and I think they'll go well. I think they'll get the fair share of wins this season.
I definitely think they'll avoid relegation. That's for sure, and they'll give it a red hot crack while they go at it. And speaking of this season, obviously the Rugby League World Cup is coming up at the back end of the year. Are you hoping to play for Jamaica or for England?
I'm hoping to play for Jamaica. Obviously,
wow. Yeah.
Ever since qualification,
how good?
2018, yeah. All focuses have been representing Jamaica.
Like you've sworn your alliance to Jamaica for the World Cup.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm really proud of my heritage and the fact that Jamaica have qualified is history making.
It is, yeah.
We've only been playing rugby league for 11 years, so to qualify for a major tournament is massive, and
for sure.
I'm really looking forward to being a part of history at the end of the year. So, no, yeah, all the guys are really excited. We've got a good coaching team and a marketing team on board in Alex Simmons and Jason Robinson.
Yep.
Shep Walker, they're all on the coaching staff. So, no, we're excited and we're hoping to go to the World Cup and compete. So, that's what all focuses on this season and throughout the year.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed for Jamaica. Obviously, I'll be rooting for the Kangaroos, but that's because I'm an Aussie. But honestly, best of luck to you and the Jamaican team regardless, because like you said, it's definitely history making. Now, during the lockdown, or multiple lockdowns that have happened, what was your Netflix binge?
Oh, Netflix.
Or binges?
I feel like I've completed it, to be honest. But,
Well, what have been some shows that you've binged then?
let me think. What have I been watching? I've literally just finished Last Chance You. I love that. The
Okay.
basketball,
Yep.
football.
I've
I
not watched
enjoy
it, but
that.
it is on my to-watch list.
What else have I been watching? I watched pretty much everything.
Literally, it's
What was
more
it?
of a what haven't you watched?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the easy one. I've literally watched all the films. I've watched. Um, I like Snowpiercer. I watched that one.
Mm.
I'm
I've
trying
heard
to
of it. I've
think.
not seen it yet, but yeah.
Yeah, what's some big ones? I can't remember.
Tiger
I've
King?
literally Tiger King watched that. That was
That's
hilarious.
so funny, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Real talk.
The what?
Did she kill her husband?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I
I
reckon
reckon.
so. I reckon so. I just finished watching that Cecil Hotel. That was eerie.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty. That's pretty. Yeah.
yeah.
Have you seen Ratched?
No, not as of yet.
What
Not as
about
of
the
yet.
Queen's Gambit? That's an alright show.
Queen's Gambit. Yeah, that was
That's a
good. I
good one,
finished that
isn't
one.
it?
Yeah, that is very good, to be honest. Yeah, very good.
So Michael Lawrence approves of
Yeah,
Queen's
oh,
Gambit, Tiger King. What was that other one? Snowpiercer, and basically
obvious.
Netflix in general.
Pretty much in general. Yeah, in general. Yeah, I
Ah,
like anything, any kind of. I like the gangster stuff
yep.
and any kind of murder mystery. Yeah, I like. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So I'm just gonna go for some fans. They've sent through some voice messages for their questions. So
No
this one
problem.
comes from Aiden, and he asks this question.
So the question is, who's the hardest player to play against? Who's the one who you know is going to hurt you the hardest when you're coming up against him? Who's the hardest one you've ever played against?
Oof, the hardest player I've ever played against.
Got to be Adrian
Um,
Morley, maybe.
That's what I was going to say. He was the one who first came to my head. Yeah, pretty much. As when I was first coming through at Huddersfield, when he was playing for Warrington, they were kind of our bogey side. I think we played them like 11 times in the space of 2-3 years, and we didn't beat him once.
Wow.
And he was always a very dominant force. Every time we played against him,
He was settled down by the time he was at Warrington compared to over in the NRL.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I used to love watching him in the NRL back in the day. To be fair, yeah, but no, he was very good, very strong, very tough to play against. One of the toughest players I've ever played against, I reckon.
Okay, and to tangent back into that question, who would be the current toughest player to go against, as in player that's still currently playing?
Oh, it's literally it's a tough one because I would have said Sean O'Loughlin but he's retired last year. So I tell you, he's very tough, but you wouldn't expect it from his position. But Tommy Luluai, he's one of the hardest hitting players I've ever played against ever.
Wow.
Yeah, if you run at him, you know about it pretty much, and you'll have seen over the years he's bent many a player in half. Yeah, he's got great technique and he's very, very strong. So yeah, I put Tommy Luluai up there as one of the toughest players to play against, definitely.
Oh, for sure. And we've got two more questions, and these two come from Brad. He asks the following questions. 1 second. Play, damn it. Bear with me. There we go.
No worries.
Thank you, CJ. Here are my two questions for Michael. What would Michael describe as the best try that he scored for the Giants? In his day, he used to be somewhat of a try machine. And secondly, how much is Michael looking forward to playing in the Rugby League World Cup at the end of the year for Jamaica, which is when he will be based in Leeds? Thank you.
I've got two that stick out in my memory fondly. So the first one is 2010. It was the semi-final before the grand final. We were playing St Helens at Nosey Road, and I was on the wing at that time, wing centre, and I caught a kick from Danny Brough, and then I put a little grubber kick in myself and managed to get around Francis Melly, and I got the perfect bounce, and it put us in front at that stage, or I think either in front or brought us level. at St Helens, and at that stage I was like, it was just before half time, and we was hopeful that we would be on his way to a grand final, but unluckily we just missed out that time, to be fair.
Leeds won it that year.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then my second one is 2011, and we were playing against St Helens again at home. And Leroy made a break down the left-hand side of the field, and then he flicked me one of the most outrageous passes I've ever seen on a rugby league field.
Like, it's astounding you managed to catch it, I'm guessing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a ridiculous pass. He flicked past it out the back of his hand about 20 metres, and then I catch the ball about 20 metres out, and I managed to finish it off under the stick. So yeah, them two go down as my two favourite tries I've ever scored in Giants colours.
Oh, for sure. And his second question was, obviously we've already covered it, but to help answer his question is, are you looking forward to representing Jamaica?
Yeah, I can't wait. Anytime. The last time I obviously pulled on the jersey was 2019 against the England Knights, and the feeling of pride.
Was it a bit? Did you feel it even more so? As in that feeling of pride when you pulled on the Jamaica jersey compared to when you pulled on the Knights jersey?
I feel so because of the pride that it felt for my parents more than anything else. Obviously, for me playing for England at the time, I obviously did that first, and it was massive. And I've never been.
But you got to represent your family and where they come from, and your culture and your heritage, etc.
That's it. Yeah, my heritage. When I told my dad I was playing for Jamaica, I've never seen him as proud in my life. Like, I've told him about England, I've told him about making my debut.
Yeah.
But when I said I was going to play for Jamaica, the change and the look in his eyes, I knew it meant a lot.
I'm getting goosebumps just hearing this.
Yeah, my mum was exactly the same. They were both born on the island, so they're Jamaican through and through. So for me to be proud of my heritage makes them feel real happy as well. And then obviously getting to represent on such a stage like the World Cup, it means a lot.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. Honestly, anyone who can't get to the World Cup, because they're still on the fence whether there's going to be allowed fans or not, be sure to tune in. I know I'll be watching at ungodly hours of the morning here in Australia. So honestly, again, Rugby League World Cup, let's go. Some more topics. Bruno, the nickname. How did that come about?
So this started a long time ago when I was about 7 years old in junior school.
Okay.
It just started. My voice was probably as deep then as it is now. And literally, we was playing, picking teams to play football, so soccer, as you guys would call it, at the time. And I was in year 7, year 3, and obviously one of the older boys that was in year 6, he was picking the teams, and he picked me, and I started laughing at it because he made a joke. I started laughing, and he goes, "Oh, he laughs like Frank Bruno," and just stuck from then on. And literally, just word of mouth, it spread around the school, and then
through the academy, and then through into the Super League.
And that's it. It's just stuck ever since. So that's where the name comes from: the deep voice and the laugh, and the likeliness to Frank Bruno. Yeah,
fair. And speaking of obviously the EPL, do you follow a team in the EPL?
Not so much. I follow Huddersfield Town. Obviously, they was in the EPL a few years back, but
they're now in the EFL, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. So, but the couple of years when they were in the Premier League, it was awesome.
I know the feel. I'm a Leeds United fan, so getting that promotion,
100% best feeling, the best feeling. So, no, but they're back in the Championship, and I think that's their level. That's where they're comfortable at, and that's where they're playing. So hopefully,
as long as they play well in whatever tier they're in, then that's all you can ask,
That's it, yeah. They're battling to stay up from relegation. They're just above the relegation zone at the moment, so hopefully it'll stay that way.
Well, still plenty of match days to go, so there's definitely a chance to avoid relegation. Just going through the list. If you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Superpower? Ooh, that'd be interesting. What would it be? Superpower be? Ooh, I reckon to be able to stop time in your life, so like not get old, pretty much.
Okay.
So kind of live forever, but
not.
Don't age. So kind of like Peter Pan-ish.
Yeah.
So you kind of stop at an age that you like, pretty much.
And you but you stay that age, knowing what you know then, and that way you technically don't get old. I get you. Yeah.
100%, yeah, because getting old's no fun, and I like to be around for a long time, pretty much. So being able to stop time, kind of being able to live together, but stop time and live in that period for a good while.
No, that's
definitely.
fair. How do you like your steak cooked, if you eat steak, that is? Because I know quite a few sportsmen aren't meat eaters.
No, I'm very fond of meat, to be honest. I'd say medium well, yeah, not too rare, medium well, medium sometimes.
Yep. If you weren't doing rugby league professionally, what career do you think you would have taken up?
I'd be a PE teacher, to be honest. I was close to doing that before I started playing. So obviously, after I finished school at 16, obviously signed to the academy. That year, when I was in the academy, I was at college. I ended up, I finished college, I got my A-levels in sports and exercise science, and I'd applied to go to uni, but then I signed for the first team and started playing for the first team. So I kind of just put it off. In 2017, I had a big knee injury that year. So that kind of gave my head a shake, really, that obviously rugby league don't last forever and you need to plan for life after. So I signed up to uni then at that time. And I'm in the fourth year of my degree at the moment. I should graduate this summer.
Oh, wow.
And
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that's in a sports coaching degree. And then hopefully I want to do my I'll be starting teacher training in September. So
oh, wow. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, within the next couple of years, hopefully I'll be a qualified PE teacher. And that's what I want to do. That's what I wanted to do back then if I didn't make a rugby player. And that's what I want to do once rugby's eventually over.
No, that's wicked. And in 2019, you were granted not just a testimonial game, a testimonial year. What was that like to obviously be told, yeah, we'll give you a year and, the whole season in general? What was it like for you personally?
Oh, it was awesome. Obviously, it's something I'm really proud of achieving, playing such a long time at my hometown club. I'm coming into my 14th season this year. So to be given that year was great, and the testimonial game, to have all my family and my friends there, and I put on a fair few events throughout the year that I think the fans enjoyed, and it was great and something I'm really proud of achieving.
Now, honestly, congrats. Anyone who gets a testimonial year, let alone game, but year, is amazing. We just got a question sent right now from a person called Joseph. He didn't send a voice message, but he sent a message saying, who is the best player you've ever played with that never made it to Super League?
That never made it to Super League. The best player I've ever played with.
Whether that was growing up or academy days or something like that.
It'll have to be probably academy days and growing up also. So in my team at News and Panthers, there was a guy called Ryan Healy. He was an absolute gun. He's living out in Australia at the moment.
Oh, wow.
He played. I know he played some rugby for, I think it's Rockhampton the last few years.
Yep, that'd be in the Q Cup, yeah.
Yeah. He was great. He was an absolute gun growing up. Unfortunately, when we got to the academy, he had a big shoulder injury.
Oh, yep.
And then from then, he pretty much struggled from there. But he'll be the best player, the guy that would have been tipped to be playing Super League. But
what could have been the you could say the proverbial what could have been, really.
Pretty much, yeah, definitely.
Oh, wow. Well, there's your answer, Joseph, for when you do listen to this episode. Do you have any pre-game routines or rituals? And if not, who in your team has the weirdest pre-game ritual?
My pre-game ritual, I'm a little bit superstitious, so I have to do the same things. So
okay, and what are these certain things?
So obviously the night before the game, I have to eat the same food. So I'll eat spaghetti bolognese the night before. But
got to get them carbs. Yep.
Pretty much, but it's got to be corn. It can't be minced. So I'll have vegetarian spaghetti bolognese the night before a game. Just because it feels a lot lighter and on the stomach and easy to digest. The next day, I don't feel as heavy. On the day of the game, I'm pretty strange. I have to get dressed in a certain order.
Okay. Is it like socks and then undies and then shorts and all that? Or is it socks, boots, and then shorts?
It's undies, shorts, socks, boots, strap.
Yep.
Strapping has to be done. Then in the final thing's a shirt. Yeah, definitely. But
okay.
But I have to get dressed in a certain order, eat at a certain time, drink certain amounts of fluid. Yeah, I'm a little bit I have to make sure all the boxes are ticked because I feel like if you're prepared and you've done everything possibly can do to get yourself
Then
ready,
it's up to the gods when you get on the grass.
that's it. Yeah, you've done everything you can. This is it. This is it. You're prepared. You're ready to go.
That's fair.
But one of the weirdest. What's the
Honestly,
weirdest?
I wouldn't say yours is more of a ritual. I'd say it's more structure, is what yours sounds
Yeah,
more like.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what would be the
Yeah.
weirdest one that you've seen or heard of?
Chris Foreman, my first. He was my first captain when I played, and then he came to, and then he went onto the coaching staff at Huddersfield Giants eventually. But yeah, he used to make himself sick before every game. That was weird.
Okay, like was it like the 2-minute bell type spew or?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was just like at the time I was only 17 and I was new to the team, and then I can hear him spewing up before every game, and this is the captain.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
You're like, shit,
he's
are we gonna lose?
what are they gonna do to me if he's spewing up like that? So yeah, it was every game. It was destroy the toilet, and then he'd go out there and play awesome. But yeah, that was one of the weirdest ones. And he just said, "I have to do it." He goes, "Once I've done it, I'll feel good and I'll play well." So yeah, I reckon that's the weirdest ritual.
It would probably eventually get to be muscle memory for him. Like those first few would have been forced, but like after about 5 games, it would have just been like it'll just happen. Just out of yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah, that's it. Surya Matangi's was weird last year as well. That's the most recent one. He'd have a freezing cold shower like minutes before we'd go out as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And then he's got to put his kit on real quick.
Pretty much, yeah. That was it. Just a freezing cold shower. He said. He said he got his mind right. So each to their own. Players have got to do what they've got to do, haven't they?
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, exactly. In 2013, you guys won the League Leaders Shield. What was that like being part of that?
That was awesome. Every single year that goes by, it becomes a little bit more special to me because I realised what we did.
Like how hard it is to attain, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's it. How hard it is to achieve. At the time, I took winning for granted, I'd say, because when I first came into the team, the first year I played games and we finished mid-table in 2008. And then from 2009 to 2015, we was really successful. And we'd be in and around the playoffs pretty much every year, nowhere near relegation or anything like that. And yeah, success was normal to me back then. But now as the years have gone on and over the past few years, we've gone over a bit of a restructuring and through some adversity, I've seen now how special it was, what we actually achieved was. So no, yeah, that year was great. Obviously, we had a great team. We had great consistency. We didn't pick up many injuries, and yeah, we was unlucky not to make it to obviously Old Trafford, but no, to have lifted the League Shield and written our name down in history is something I'm very, very proud of achieving.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of a curveball question. I just thought of it while we were talking. Who would be your favourite, or not favourite, but which Australian import into Huddersfield of the last 2 or so years, Aiden Caesar, etc., has benefited your personal game the best?
The last 2 years?
Yeah, the last, let's say since the 2019 season was basically the last full season.
Yeah, C's has to be. Yeah. C's, obviously, he came in last year and the first training session, you can see that he was absolute quality. And he expects the best and he demands the best and he makes everyone raise their levels.
Yeah, but he wouldn't ask more than what he would personally give.
100%, that's the thing. He's going to give everything. He's a competitor. He's an elite player. And he expects that of everybody else and everyone else follows. And he makes me want to up my game and play the best I can so that we're up there playing at the same level that he likes to compete at. And we know that's what you need to be the best. And obviously he's played in NRL Grand Finals and he knows what it takes to get
there.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're striving to do.
No, of course. Let's go through the list. Let's see. Superpower, stake, routines, lockdown, Netflix, COVID, upcoming season we've covered, World Cup, Jamaica, League Leaders Shield, 1990s, first person born, testimonial year. Your England Knights debut. Obviously, as we've mentioned Jamaica and all that, and we have mentioned a little bit of the Knights. You made your debut for the England Knights in 2012. What was it like getting the call up and going into you could say the camp and all that sort of stuff?
It was awesome. Yeah, I was 21 at the time, and I'm really happy when I got the call. Going into camp was great because the camps were with the first team squad,
Mm-hmm.
so we trained with the first team squad. So it was an elite environment that I'd not been in for a few years. The last time I was in an environment like that was probably England under 18s academy tour to Australia back in 2008. So it had been 4 years since I'd played proper representative rugby.
Mm.
Yeah, so to get called into the camp was great, and we went to Ireland and Scotland and played in the European Cup and won both games. And in the first game, I scored a try and we beat Ireland, and I got man of the match. So I was really happy with the way I played. And obviously to lift the cup for England is great. And then obviously the year after we played Samoa in a World Cup warm-up game,
Yep.
and they had a really good side, packed with stars at the time, Anthony Milford and all these players. And yeah, we ended up putting 50 points in them.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, pretty much. So no, we was really happy again. So I've had two and scored again when I played for England again that time. So
That was against Tonga,
no,
was it?
that was against Samoa.
Oh, Samoa, yeah.
Samoa in 2013. So just before the World Cup. So no, yeah, I really enjoyed playing for England. Unfortunately, in the years after, obviously never quite broke into the top squad. Unfortunately, there's a lot of
There's a lot of competition to get
yeah,
into
there's
that
a lot
team.
of there's a lot of depth and competition in the forwards in that England team, and unfortunately I missed out. But obviously the opportunity to play for Jamaica came up in 2018 and 2019, and that's what all my focus is on now, definitely.
No, that's awesome. If you could be offered a contract to any NRL club, or regardless of, the Raiders always recruiting from England, but in general, if you could be contracted to an NRL club for like the final few years of your career, who would it be and why?
Brisbane Broncos.
Yes, I'm a Broncos fan.
I'm a Broncos fan. Have been for a long time. Darren Lockyer was an idol of mine growing up.
Same.
Massive fan of Wayne Bennett, and yeah, no. Obviously, when we came on the tour to Australia, we got to go to watch a Brisbane game, and I've never been as excited.
Oh, how good was it at Suncorp?
Yeah, there's nothing better than
Suncorp. Mate, goosebumps, 100%.
Yeah,
I was born in Brizzy, and I don't live in Queensland anymore. I moved down to New South Wales when I was 4. I made the pilgrimage, you could say, back up there in 2017. Went to a home game, and mate, as you said, nothing compares.
No, nothing better. It was awesome, and they won. They beat the Sharks.
And hey, they're more or less the same colours as Huddersfield a little bit.
That's what I mean. Yeah, so pretty much similar kits and that. So no, yeah. If any club I could go to, it'd be Brisbane. We actually, when we came on the tour, they were lucky enough to let us go down to the training ground.
Oh wow!
The old one at the time.
Yeah, Red Hill. Yep.
We got to go watch the boys go through their captain's run and have a look around and use their facilities as well. So
wow.
No, yeah. Brisbane had been my first choice, that's for sure.
That would have been awesome. And that kind of also helps save me ask the question, which team do you follow in the NRL? If you do, that answers that. Just trying to think of if there's any other questions. Oh, yes, I've got 2 more to think of. Do you have any words for the fans of Huddersfield for the upcoming season?
Any words? Yeah, hopefully. Stay positive. That would be mine. Obviously, it's been very tough for the fans over the past year with COVID. But obviously now with the vaccine rollout and things seem to be easing, hopefully they'll be back soon enough and they'll be able to get back in stadiums because for me they're so important.
I was going to say, do you notice a difference in the stands when they're not there?
Massive. There's just no atmosphere. It's not the same. Fans are sport, and without
fans, there's no sport really.
No, yeah, that's it pretty much. So no, we miss them, and hopefully, obviously, they'll be back soon enough. But yeah, stay positive. It won't be long, hopefully, before they're back and enjoying live rugby league again, and hopefully we can give them a season to remember.
Yeah, let's go. And one last question or topic you could say is, do you have any advice for any youngsters that are, coming through the academy and or in general that would just love to make, the first grade team one day?
100%. Just work hard. That's all I did at the age. I was just like them. I had a dream, pretty much when I was young, playing rugby at my local club, and I just worked hard and wanted it more than anybody else. And work hard and enjoy it. That's the main thing. You've got to enjoy it. You've got to love the game, because if you're not enjoying it, you won't try hard at anything you do. So keep that enjoyment and just try your best in every opportunity you get to train or play. Enjoy it and have fun.
Football is the great.